Happy morning, everybody. I am on my way back home from having breakfast with Glenda. But we also had breakfast with Charlie. So that was pretty cool. He does really well. He had a little high chair, and the high chair was small because I never really noticed the size of high chairs until he came about. Some of them are really big and some of them are pretty small. So I don't know. Anyways, it was nice because this one was a smaller one, and so he didn't seem so lost in it. He's able to sit really well, but after a little while he got kind of tired of it, so I took him out and held him. But he does really good. He ate a little bit of breakfast, and then we just sat and chatted, and we didn't stay long because Glenda needs to go out of town, and I need to get home, do my exchange, and then put him down for his nap, and then we'll see what the day holds. So I don't know, things are good. Let me think. Oh, so exciting news, but terrible, was yesterday we had an overcast day. It was really nice. It wasn't very hot. Very windy though. And in front of my son's house is a large pine tree that is dead. Well, Javi called me yesterday and said, hey, would you mind watching Charlie while I go grocery shopping? And so I was like, okay, that's fine. So he called me later because I was doing my exchange, and so I wanted to be able to do that first. And he called me and was like, Mom, guess what fell over in this wind? And I was like, oh my God, I knew it was going to be that tree. So I said, the tree. And he's like, guess what it fell on? And I was like, oh my gosh, was it your car? And that's what happened. The tree literally fell on his car and smashed the windshield. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to have damaged anything else. However, because it is a dead tree and the wind did it, it's considered an act of God, which means now that insurance won't cover it, which sucks. So I don't know what happens at this point. I think he's probably going to just have to pay to have the windshield repaired, I hope. And I really hope that that's all that happened to the vehicle. It is a new vehicle, so it's not like, and they need it. So that's another thing. But it was pretty great that nobody was hurt, of course, that it didn't fall into the house. That's another thing. But when that happened, I went ahead and went over there so we could take a look at it. And Donnie, being a tree surgeon, of course, he wanted to check it out. And it was on the power line. So he was like, yeah, you have to call your landlord. Your landlord then calls TEP and a tree person. Apparently TEP never showed up. I'm not surprised, but that's just sucks that they didn't show up. But the tree guy came out and totally took care of it. In fact, they ended up pushing the car out of the way enough so that when he finished cutting the tree, everything could fall to the ground without damaging anything else, thank goodness. So I guess for a terrible situation, I guess things kind of worked out. But it was kind of cool too, because when I went over there, it was like, let me take the dogs because it's just chaotic right now. And you already have the baby to deal with. And so I took Emma to the apartment and Mr. Smokey. And of course, Smokey's fine. It's like going back home because that's just where he's always lived. But Emma was very excited. Although Emma is used to the apartment complex because they used to live at the apartment complex across the way from the playground. And so she was very excited and, you know, confused. And then also she tends to be a little bit ditzy. She's a ditzy type of dog. It's just kind of weird, but she was not settled. She was concerned. She was not really eat or drink anything. She was just kind of like, I don't know what we're doing. And it took her about an hour or two to just calm down, to lay down. And then from that point, she was able to relax. And then about 9 o'clock, after everything had settled, then I went ahead and took them back with Ben's help and saw the chopped down tree. So the good news is, though, is that Javi now has wood. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, like, the weirdest things happen to that kid, and I'm just grateful that he's safe, he's alive, the baby wasn't hurt, you know, everybody's fine. So a car can be replaced. But yeah, so anyways, as for dialysis, everything is pretty good. Yesterday, because I was planning on going to the gym, I just did 2 exchanges. Plus, I had to make sure to keep Emma out of my room because that's the, you have to keep it sanitary, but also her fur is everywhere. Like, you can tell where Emma has walked because her fur just rubs out, and she's a white pit. She's actually a mix. She does have some pit in her, but she's a mixed mutt more so because her face doesn't look very pitty. So I need to vacuum, and any clothes I wear has to be washed. So I didn't allow her in the room, which really upset her because I had to do a drain, and of course she was on the other side of the door just whining and crying and upset. But, you know, Ben was able to get her to calm down and stuff. But again, that is another reason, I guess, that it's better to not have pets when you start off, especially starting off on dialysis, because it's just difficult for them. They don't understand it. And it depends on their breed. It depends on their temperaments, just like people. So I think if she was trained or constantly there and saw that she's okay, she's not abandoned, then she could probably be able to handle it much better. But her fur just gets everywhere, so it's difficult for her to be in the apartment. And it was difficult to have the 2 animals there because they're both big, large, and dogs. And so the other thing is Marshall was under the couch, and I don't know that Emma would not go for him. Smokey, again, does not care. He could care less. But Emma was very sniffy with Marshall, and so I pulled him out from under the couch, and I went ahead and put him in his little den, which is in the kitchen under the wire rack, so there's no way they could get him. And he's also tucked behind the water bottles, which is where he prefers to be when he wants to feel safe or left alone. And so I just stuck him back under there so that he would not be bothered by the dogs. So that was our adventure yesterday. My gosh, talk about crazy. It was just wild. So yeah, and I did go to Bisbee on Saturday, to go see my mom and dad. So that was cool as well. So yeah, I think that's about it. Again, with dialysis, everything was good. Today I'm using heparin because it's Monday mostly, and usually 2 days of not using heparin, I probably have something built up. But I guess we'll find out. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. I hope everything's going well for you. Remember to drink your water. I know that I'm slightly dehydrated because I have not been vigilant, and it's just lately that the heat has really spiked up. So I think today it's supposed to be again 93 or 95. So gross. But it is what it is. So yeah, Anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.